Good morning, friends. Welcome back to my channel. It is time for back to school. We have made the decision as a family again to homeschool. We are doing a little bit of a hybrid for my two older girls, but in this video I'm going to show you what we're using for Jericho. He is our son and he is going to be in 5th grade this fall. We are actually not starting until after Labor Day. We're gonna let the girls get settled into the few classes that they're taking at the public school, and then we're gonna start all of our homeschooling after Labor Day. Typically, I don't know if you know this or not, but when you homeschool, you do not have to have as many days, at least in my state, you don't have to have as many days as the public school does, and because generally you get your work done faster, and there are not like whole entire days where you're not doing any schoolwork, that type of thing. Okay, so let's get right into it. Let's start with language arts for Jericho. Language arts is going to be The Good and the Beautiful. I love The Good and the Beautiful. We used it last year. It's wonderful. Disclaimer, the creator of The Good and the Beautiful is Mormon. I am not Mormon, I am Christian, but her entire board of educators that come up with this curriculum is from all denominations, all faiths, and so her curriculum really is a non-denominational Christian curriculum. I've never found anything in it that goes against the Bible. It uses the New King James Version of the Bible when it quotes scripture, and so I just wanted to put that disclaimer out to you. But really, really good curriculum in my opinion. So the language arts does not go by public school grade level. Last year Jericho was in 4th grade and he did level 3, and so this year he's going to be doing level 4. It comes with a course book, which is this. It comes with the personal reader, which in that course book it will assign him, read pages such and such in your personal reader. And then there's also a world biographies reader, which I'm assuming, it's just different biographies of different people. So he will get assigned that from his course book as well. Something new that we have not done before, he didn't have this last year, but it comes with a spelling and writing work. It's called workshops. And in his course book, it'll say, go to your spelling and writing book and complete these pages, which I think spelling is important. Not that we don't all have spell check, but when you can correctly spell more words, it's just easier, in my opinion. It's easier to read. So he will be doing that, and then also in his course book, it assigns him personal reading, a book of his choice, usually 20 minutes every day. And so there's a whole list of books that you go online to the Good and the Beautiful website. Lots of the books we already have sometimes, and so I'll let him choose out of those. Sometimes we will check them out of the library, and then sometimes we will order some books from the Good and the Beautiful. We're kind of like a library family. We don't tend to reread books once we've already read them unless they're like classics. So we prefer the library in that instance. So that's his language arts. In my opinion, it's very rigorous. It's enjoyable. It teaches the kids a lot about, it has geography, art, and language arts all combined. Then, because all of my kids could use help with their handwriting, I did pick up the handwriting level 4. So he will just do 1 page a day probably in conjunction with his language arts, which he will not like, but that's okay. So that's his language arts. For math, we're using teaching textbooks. It's all online. I really like that it's all online. It grades it for you. It keeps track of the assignments that he's done. It keeps track of the tests, and it's really interactive. And so what I did was over the summer, I signed up all 3 of the kids for their free trial. I think it's like 15 lessons or something like that, and had the kids go through it just to make sure that they understood it, that they could follow along, that it was interesting enough, because I did not like our math last year. That was a pain point for us in our homeschooling. So all 3 kids approve. So he will be doing 5th grade teaching textbooks for math all online. And actually, in my opinion, it's a very affordable math curriculum for what you get for it. So then moving on to science. Now science will be done with Jalea, who is my 7th grader. So the first 2 units that I chose were ecosystems. Last year we did chemistry, botany, and the human body part 1. Human body part 2 is coming out, and I plan on getting that as soon as it's ready. And then I chose kingdoms and classification. To my knowledge, I don't think any of my kids, Journey may have, I don't think any of my kids have done any sort of like animal kingdom scientific classifying. I don't think any of them have done that. So those are the 2 that I started out with. I will order human body 2 when that comes out. And then honestly, we only need 4. Honestly, for the 4th one, I might pick one of the other ones from last year and just do it again as a good review, because I don't think you can grasp everything the first time through. So that's kind of the tentative plan for that. It is perfect for 5th and 7th grade, because for Jalea there are lesson extensions for 7th grade. So she'll be doing a little bit more. Jericho will just follow along with us. Then for history, this is another group subject that we have. We did year 4 last year. Simply, we didn't start with year 1. You really don't have to start year 1 and go through year 4. We started with year 4 because it had a lot of the civil rights movement stuff that we wanted to do last year, and so we chose that one. And so I just decided to kind of go back through the cycle and start with year 1 now. So it comes with year 1 course book. It looks like it starts with ancient Egypt, and then it's probably gonna go into, oh, we got some Middle Ages in there. And then it does. Then it starts early American history. So that's exciting. And then it comes with the big book of history stories. It has maps and images, and the color, like the quality is really good, and the kids will enjoy going through this book. And so it'll tell you when to use this book. In the course book, it'll tell you when to use it. All of the years of the history come with, which this is the Good and Beautiful, I don't know if I said that, but they come with a game. Last year, year 4 was a card game that the kids really enjoyed. This year, it looks like a board game of some sort. And so my kids, they like to do the games with that come along with it. It's not necessary to do the games. Then this year, I went ahead and got the Read Aloud book pack that comes with the history. And so we're going to be reading Boy of the Pyramids, Through the Wall, The 3 Gold, I can't say it without like thinking of pirates, doubloons, you know, but I think that's how you say it, The 3 Gold doubloons. And then the Saragan Steed. I don't know, I can't tell what that like font is, but we will read all 4 of these as a group together. Aside from, I do also pick some sort of like classic. Right now we are reading through the last book of the Rush Revere series, which my kids have really enjoyed. It's been a fun way to learn about early American history. So we're almost through the last book of that. Now, just some supplemental stuff. So for Jericho, that takes care of science, math, English, language arts. He doesn't really need any electives because he gets art and geography within his language arts course, history, and then it's a little too early, in my opinion, to start him on a foreign language. So other people would call this like their morning basket time. I don't really call it that. We just kind of do it whenever. But a lot of times when you're homeschooling multiple children, you are working with one child and you don't want to like release them to go do whatever they want and kind of get out of school mode or whatever while you're working with another child. And so I like to have some stuff around for them to look through, for them to read. They can always color something or do like a crossword puzzle or a word search, something like that. So I decided to go ahead and get, this is called the Answers Book for Kids. I just got the whole box set. And these basically are questions from real children, real life children, as opposed to fake children, that they ask questions about faith. And then they answer them. Then there's an answer section and it tells you the scripture that they get the answer from and what the answer is. So this question is, why did God put the tree in the Garden of Eden if he didn't want Adam and Eve to eat the fruit from it? And that is from a little 5-year-old boy in Kansas. The answer is from Genesis 2:17, but of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil you shall not eat, for in the day that you eat of it you shall surely die. And then they give you an explanation. And it's really good, the explanations, the answers that they give. So there are, 8 of these in here? And so I will definitely be offering these as a, here, why don't you look up, go through some of these questions while I'm helping Jalea, that sort of thing. Then I will be taking both Jalea and Jericho through this workbook. It's called The Fallacy Detective. And it is 38 lessons on how to recognize bad reasoning. So it's very simple. It has a, let's see. So it has lesson 1, and we will just pass this book around the table and everybody will read a paragraph. And then it has exercise. So it has an example of like, read the following examples and decide if the person probably A, doesn't want to exercise his mind, B, has an inquiring mind, or C, none of the above. So it gives the question, number 1, surfer dude, hey man, like I'm never going back to school. These waves are like so much more cool. I just can like spend my whole life here, man. Like this is like the life, man. So he doesn't want to exercise his mind, he has an inquiring mind, or none of the above. And they just have to answer that question. So just gets them thinking about how to expand their minds, how to really research something and think it through before they form an opinion, all that. So Jalea and Jericho will be doing this together. I will also be taking, actually, probably all 3 of the kids through this book. I don't think it can hurt. It's a little juvenile for Journey, but the information is good. My oldest will be in 9th grade. So it's good pictures, bad pictures, porn proofing today's young kids. Our kids don't have a lot of access to the internet right now, and so I think it's important that we go through this with them because sadly, I don't think your kids can make it to adulthood without stumbling across inappropriate, if not pornography, on the internet, sadly. So it just takes them through. So the first chapter is just what's pornography, and then it's very kid friendly. There's some exercises to go through, like some talking points. Like one of the questions is, why is it important to keep private parts private? What different feelings can seeing pornography cause? And what are the 3 ways pornography can hurt my brain? And I really liked this because of the brain connection that they, like how to get addicted, like your brain connection when you see something. So I'm going to be taking all 3 of the kids through that. So that's all of Jericho's curriculum. And then I just picked up some extra stuff. So every morning I got all 3 kids a gratitude journal. It is super simple. You just put the date in it. It says, I thank the Lord for 1, 2, 3 things. Today I will strive to be blank. It has a Bible verse of the day. God created man in his own image from Genesis 1:27. And then it has blessings the day brought me, has a little section, and then doodle of the day. So I'll have them do that before we start our group subject in the morning. Now, I picked up this, Brave Heroes and Bold Conquerors, 50 True Stories of Daring Men of God. We already have the Courageous World Changers, the women's edition. And this was super helpful. I think Journey just read through the whole thing because she liked it. But we could, especially like through history, we could pick out some of their little, the people in here. And then it's just a nice like colorful book. And then they can also, oh, I don't know why that's in there. They can also just read it. It can be one of those things when I'm working with another kid, they can just go read about some of the famous people. So it has like ancient people, and then it has like modern day hero, like George Washington's in here. And then I saw like it also has Tim Tebow. It has Tony Dungy, I think I just saw, which is like right up Jericho's alley. He loves that. So, just a nice book to have. Last thing, I am obsessed with these books. I think they are the coolest books in the world. I actually am going to use them to decorate. I'm actually sitting in the school area right here, which I'm not going to show you very much of it because it desperately needs to be cleaned out. Like it has not been touched since we ended school. But I'm going to be decorating with these books as well because they're just so beautiful. So these are from the Welcome to the Museum series. I picked up Historium. This is divided actually into continents. And so we can go and look up facts about, it's kind of like going to the museum in a book. So when we're going through our different history lessons, we can go and like, it's just beautiful drawings. We can go and see artifacts. So that's Historium. When we are going through our science and we get to the human body, this one is Anatomicum, you know, the anatomy. So the pictures are just so beautiful, and it has information as well. And the anatomical pictures, if you will, are quite appropriate. There's nothing crazy in here. Then I got the botany one, which is super cool. So if we go through botany again, and I mean, honestly, just so pretty. Covers are nice. Like these are gonna be like books that I keep forever. That's just how it's gonna be. This is all about the different fungi. And then this one is all about different animals. So there are a couple more I can get. I have to investigate. There's one that I decided not to get. It was called like The Origins of Man or something like that, and it did not line up with our Christian worldview at all, so I didn't bother getting that one. And there is a couple, I'm sure it will say like millions of years ago in some of them. I'm sure that it will. But we mostly got these to supplement our history and our science units, and because they're just so darn pretty. All right, that wraps up Jericho's curriculum for 5th grade. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will also be doing a video on 7th grade curriculum and high school curriculum. So if you're looking for high school, my oldest is going into 9th grade, and so that'll be an adventure. I hope you enjoyed this, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.